Is my voice audible?
Yes, I've seen your product description and animation that you have just shown us. Actually excellent, all the products, and I think all of the quality products to achieve the reliability and sustainability of the data center.
Okay, nice, great. Thank you so much. How are you, Mr. Jamil? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Vishal?
Very well, thank you so much. How was the day today?
Actually, we had a very hectic day yesterday, so today is the day to make full of use of it. Actually, so
it's a weekend, I believe there.
Yeah, today is our weekend.
Sure. So we'll wait for the panelists to come on board and join us. Waiting for Mr. Chan, Mr. Chowdhury again. Hello, Chan, how are you?
Hi, Vishal, how are you? I'm good.
I'm very well, thank you so much. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning?
It's 8:22, yeah, in the morning.
Oh, it's a little more early.
Yeah, you guys are ready for the weekend, and we're still on Friday.
Right. So you
Where are
start
you
late
located?
as well on Monday, right?
Yeah,
I'm based out of Mumbai.
Okay, you're out of Mumbai. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's evening for everybody then.
Good morning to you. Where's our friend, Mr. Masood? So how's business for you, Herman, there, back in the US? You're from New Jersey, right?
Yeah, we're out of New Jersey, and we've been very lucky throughout the pandemic. We're in a business that is essential and important in the data center industry. So we've been very lucky that we continued to grow in 2020, and so this is good. Quite a lot of interest still in remote management software and technologies, and so just very, very lucky to be part of the industry.
I'm sure, absolutely. I mean, whoever is a part of this particular domain, I mean, they will feel privileged at this point in time because there's no other industry better than, this particular domain to be in with right now.
Yeah. A lot of our customers are feeling pain in terms of, taxing of the data center, taxing of the people in terms of the demand on infrastructure and the demand on services. And so, they got a lot on their plate, and, we try to help where we can.
So, thank you for joining in. We have Mr. Shamsur Rahman Chowdhury with us from the NCC Bank.
Hello, good evening. I'm Chowdhury from NCC Bank.
How are you, Mr. Chowdhury, today?
Fine, thank you.
We have Mr. Hi, Masood. Are you there?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I'm here. Mr. Nazmul is joining soon, actually. Maybe he is facing some problem in Zoom link. I'm chatting with him. You please carry on.
Oh.
Hi, Herman. How are you?
Hi, Masood. Good evening.
Yeah.
প্যানেলের সবাইকে গুড ইভিনিং, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমি জামিল from ব্র্যাক ব্যাংক।
Good evening, Mr. Jamil. Welcome on board. Hello, Gaurav.
Everyone,
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much. We have a couple of minutes to start our session with. I think it's time we should start our session. I think we'll have other panelists joining us very soon. So welcome everybody. Congratulations to everybody to be today here at this panel. This session is all about sustaining reliability of data centers. As we all understand that it is extremely important to have reliable data centers. However, it is even more important to have mature levels of operations and management program to complement and maintain the reliability, across the data center life cycle. So what is more important is that you've noticed that lower reliable data centers with a higher level of reliability by having matured operation and management programs compared to vis-a-vis, higher levels of reliability with low levels of matured operations is a risk. So going ahead, what we'll go and see is we'll try and adopt best practices. We'll try and understand, what are the latest technology trends in the market today, especially during this pandemic period. We have a lot to cover up right now. We have immense experience on the table with us right now today in the evening. I'll start off with introducing myself, and after I've introduced myself, I'll hand over the table to everybody else to introduce themselves. My name is Vishal Mehra, and I'm the Director for Business Development for India and the Greater India region for Uptime Institute. And I basically manage the one of the larger portfolios for government, education, healthcare, and oil and gas sectors for these regions. I come from the industrial infrastructure background, and I was a part of the entire conceptualization and designing of one of the largest co-location facilities very close to Mumbai with over 300 megawatt IT load spread over. So that's in short about me. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody is aware about Uptime. For those who are not familiar with our Uptime Institute, we are the global data center authority, and we are basically the industry's adopted global tier standards for design, construction, and operations of data centers. And we are known in the market as the de facto standards for data centers for reliability, assurance, sustainability, and efficiency. We've been in the certification business for more than about 25 years now, and we have almost 1,800 plus certifications in over 99 countries to our credit. And where I personally believe that during my stint with this organization, whoever I'm meeting, I believe that customers understand what Uptime is all about. They've understood the tier certification process, and this is the only certification process which is outcome-based certification process, and this certification will assure reliability and performance of the data center, especially on full load. In case of any unforeseen circumstances and situations, the idea is to avoid any particular outage with respect to the business objective that has been laid down by the companies, by the organizations. The certification process, it just not just provides you with a peace of mind, but it also protects your investment, because we all understand that data centers are absolutely very expensive and investment capital intensive projects. And once you go through this entire certification process, it will also help you, give you the kind of returns that you're looking in from, once you're absolutely live and operational, it'll give you the return on investment, on your projects. So this is a warm welcome to all the panelists and for taking our time for this sustaining reliability of data center session. Good evening to everyone, and on behalf of DCtSUMMIT, I welcome all members, viewers, and participants for their presence and participation in this summit. This year has been a very difficult and challenging time, as you all have seen in the last 8-9 months. Globally, for for professionally as well as personally. But somewhere I personally believe that this situation has brought out new possibilities for all of us involved here in this industry and this sector. It has given us an opportunity to relook at our businesses, in a very different model, in a very different way. And I don't have to mention this, but I will still mention going forward, is that we all are overseeing and experiencing a huge data revolution. And with this work from home concept increasingly growing now, we've seen a lot of major triggers in this last 7-8 months, where we are seeing that a lot of data explosion is happening because of adoption of artificial intelligence, machine learnings, IoTs of the world. And we are seeing just because I'm a part of the government industry as well, I'm seeing that governments are infusely adopting, and trying to digitize most of the records, especially in India. Also, I'm seeing that, because there are roughly about 30 odd sectors, about 51 ministries, and about 11,000 departments to cover up. So digitization of records is extremely important, not just from the government perspective, but also from the private sectors as well. We're seeing a lot of co-location players and a lot of large Indian developers also coming into this industry and trying to make a play for themselves. So mobile consumption is increasing, as you all have seen now, and it's probably highest in this part of the world, especially now, Southeast Asia, India, China, and even Bangladesh now. So higher the usage, we understand the higher is the demand for quality storage of data, and even higher would be the need for more resilient, reliable, and sustainable infrastructure. This need actually for the need for now technologically more advanced designs, the need for setting up critical infrastructures, whether it's India or it's Bangladesh, and more so, I was setting up, the very stringent, flexible operation and management programs is the key to a very well matured and operated facility. Which is today the subject matter that we all have together met today. So we have now virtually one of the best brains with us today. Virtually coming together from diverse backgrounds and experiences. So I'm going to go ahead and invite all our 6 panelists, and I want that everybody and request everybody could introduce themselves and speak a little bit about themselves, their organizations, their role plays. And can I request maybe Herman to over and introduce himself?
Sure. Thank you, Vishal, for the introduction and for hosting, and thank you, Masood, for hosting and inviting Sunbird to be part of this prestigious panel. I really appreciate the opportunity to share what we're seeing in the marketplace. My name is Herman Chan. I'm the president of Sunbird Software, and we're providing data center operations and monitoring software, and we call it second generation DCIM. It's like a 4-letter word that has been around for a long time, but we believe that the second generation, the new generation of software is really getting it right this time, right? And we're seeing a lot more adoption of this technology because it's just much more easier to use, and it's really catering to the main use scenarios that customers have in terms of managing operations. It's a complete suite with many capabilities built in, so you're not getting killed by modules from the vendors. And it really thinks through things like automation and integration with tools that you might have already. And so you can have this opportunity to share data, collaborate. So, we're really proud of it. And, we believe that, with regards to the reliable data center operations, this kind of a tool set should really be part of the consideration set. And I guess we'll talk more about why later in today's panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Herman. Thanks for the introduction. And can we quickly move on to Mr. Taher Ahmed Chowdhury?
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I am Taher Ahmed Chowdhury, working for Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited as Deputy Managing Director and Chief Information Technology Officer. I have started my career since 1986 from Mexico Computers Limited, the largest computer company over the country. Once it was the largest computer company over the country. My responsibility as a Deputy Managing Director and Chief Information Technology Officer, actually I have to manage, maintain, and management level activities and policy level activities over the information and communication technology wing of Islami Bangladesh Limited. In addition, actually as a DMD, my portfolio is in addition, I have to maintain the investment. As a part of investment, I have to contribute my knowledge, experience, and different areas of the bank, such as investment management committee, then risk management, then others, high-level committee. Actually, I am a member, but I am working for the last 35 years over the country. My Islami Bank actually has 3 data centers. One is data center located in Dhaka, another is in Hot Deer, located also in Dhaka, with a distance say 20-25 kilo. And then another Hot Deer is situated in another division, say Rajshahi, in a different seismic zone. So Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited, actually we are using all the services, all the banking services by own developed software from Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited technology people. We have a very good and skilled and experienced technology people, those who are designing their services, businesses, and as per aligning with the business of the bank, and we are only the bank who have designed in their own software house 52 services of business services that are aligned with the business, banking business. We have designed our own digital platform, digital wallets like Selfie that is integrated over all the delivery channel services are integrated to the Selfie, and these are connected to the national payment systems of the country, Visa network and MasterCard network, so that it has very robust interoperability over the globe. We can just if only the bank in Bangladesh we are issuing through our digital platform virtual Visa card, so that we can collect the foreign remittance through Visa card for anywhere over the country, anytime with the minimum cost. Say if you Bangladesh is the second one over the world for freelancing, and actually $500 through our self-in services, we can provide the services to the end user customer with a minimum cost of $1 or $1.25. So in that case, actually, we can proudly say that in Bangladesh we are started the cashless society and cashless services over the country. I think I feel proud working in Islami Bangladesh Limited, because all the services are owned to us and all the services are developed by us. We are only outsourcing the physical hardware and infrastructure that are related to the physical, ensure the better physical environment in my data center, disaster recovery site, and hot air. So Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited is very secure, and we have deployed all the security as per compliance of the central bank, and as well as compliance under the security framework of global like National Institute of Standard Technology and some other CISA that has provided us to ensure the security. And also we are at the end of getting the certificate of PCI DSS compliance in Bangladesh as the regulatory compliance of central bank. So this is me I have delivered the situation of Islami Bangladesh Limited, but I am just when you ask me any question based on my platform, and I will try to answer you and to satisfy you. So that's all. Thank you.
Well, that's very interesting. Thank you, Mr. Chowdhury. And in fact, I'm extremely glad personally, because whatever we've all just heard right now, it's very exciting to know that even the banks in Bangladesh are trying to match up to international standards of deliveries, on the core banking side. So hats off to you. To take up this initiative and take this to this level. Thank you so much. And can we have Mr. Shamsur Rahman Chowdhury now to get you to introduce himself, please?
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everybody. Actually, I am CIO and head of IT NCC Bank. Let me say a few words about myself. I have completed 34 years of service, and at the beginning of 1/3 of the service period, I was an electrical engineer in power distribution board. And next, I switched over to the IT side, and I have been in this bank for the last 5 years. But before that, I had been in Das Bangla Bank as head of IT operation, and then Exim Bank and Zomuna Bank. So I am mostly looking after the electrical side of the data center. So how if nice design can help us to receive or obtain the reliability. The next one is I like to involve myself in the design of ICT infrastructure as well. So I believe that the three sides are there. One is the design of say electricity, another one is the ICT infrastructure, and the third one might be the monitoring system. So if all these three design sites are complete, then probably the managing and management efficiency comes there. So actually I engage myself in overall operation from the design and then operation. So during the last 20 years, actually, I am involved in this business as head of IT. And this is all about myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shamsur, for this lovely introduction of yours. You look like a veteran in this industry, and you carry a lot of immense experience, and you will obviously able to share a lot of your in-depth experiences that you've had in this career of yours. So great, thank you so much, and let's move ahead. Can we have Mr. Nazmul Karim to introduce himself, please?
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to say something about me here. I'm Nazmul Karim. I'm playing the role of Head of IT Governance in bKash Limited. Under this Head of IT Governance role, there is a lot of small units under this. One of the important unit is the data center operations here. And there is network operations, incident response center, security operations center, and offensive security and compliance. And there is also IT support team under me, and the Windows infrastructure team. So these are the things actually I'm managing here. So role-wise, it's actually divided into two things mainly. One is the governance part, and another is some operations under me. So that's two things actually. Before bKash Limited, I was in Mehra Bank as a head of IT, and prior that I was in BRAC IT Services Limited as a senior manager, and prior that I was in BRAC Bank for 4.5 years. There I was I managed the network infrastructure over there. Before that I was in a system integrator company named Tech Valley Computers Limited, and I started my career from an internet service provider named Ogni Systems Limited back in 2004. So my career actually mostly based on infrastructure, security, and the network, mainly these three things. But for if the today's topic is actually for the data center, so I have some previous experience with data center, especially when I started my career. One of my customers are telecom industries named Televarta and Warit Telecom. So there I had the opportunity as a serving as a internet service provider, but I had the opportunity to see their international standard data centers implementation process. So I was lucky that from the very start of the career, I see the standard data center implementation and operational things as a service provider of a different thing, but I had that opportunity. So I use that learnings and experience of my past careers in different banks and current organization. So that's it from me.
Great, thank you so much, Mr. Nazmul. I mean, it's been a great transition, what I understand, right from a ISP service provider till the head of IT of bKash. It's been a lovely transition. I mean, I'm sure you'll be a role model for a lot of our viewers and in this entire session and forum. So moving ahead, we have a lot to discuss, and moving ahead to straight away to Gaurav. Gaurav, kindly introduce yourself, your company, and your services.
Yeah, thanks, Vipul. So good evening, everyone. My name is Gaurav Singh from Rital. So before starting, I would just like to say thanks to Mr. Mashood and the Uptime for providing this great opportunity to discuss the sustainability for reliability of the data centers. So this is the great platform to discuss this. And about the company, I would just like to say Rital have a global presence, and it is around 13 production sites across the globe. And in India, we are located in Bangalore. Rital is a global provider for the enclosures, the power distributions, the climate controls, the infrastructures, and software and services. So this is about a short, brief description about the Rital, and we will be taking the questions in the coming sessions. So this is a short introduction from my end. Thank you.
Thanks, Arav. Thanks for calling in. And we have our last panelist, Mr. Nazmul Jamil. Yeah, Mr. Jamil, over to you.
Thank you. Let me introduce myself first. I am Nazmul Jamil. I am working in Bragg Bank right now as head of technology infrastructure and systems management. So I have overall 20 years experience working in technology infrastructure mainly, and 17 years in banks. So in these 17 years, I was in data center management and operation. And so I have already seen the overall the maturity stages, how the data centers of banks matured over time. And today in 2020, when we are talking about data center, we are talking about more about resiliency, sustainability, and so even 10 years ago, this type of talking was very rare in the industry. So so this is a very I think will be a lively discussion over this panel. I can shortly give an introduction of my organization right now, about Bragg Bank. Everybody knows Bragg Bank is one of the, I would say, one of the largest private commercial banks of this country in Bangladesh. And we are a very much IT-centric bank, and we are moving towards more IT centricity actually. And data center is playing a big role here because when we are moving to more IT dependency day by day, and what we call it digital transformation, whatever, the more challenges we are seeing in managing the operation in data centers, because the scalability is more required now. More concentration of servers are coming in. So this is how we are facing challenges, and we are also those challenges we are taking care of, introducing new technologies as well. So over to you, Vishal.
Thank you, Mr. Jamil. We have 3 industry solvers from 3 large banks in Bangladesh, and we have some very interesting portfolios from Sunbird and even Rital for that reason. So somebody I was interacting with a couple of months back, and I was made to understand that at that point in time was that one of the most complex engineering projects are basically, submarines. Submarines are rated as one of the largest or most complicated projects in. Am I there? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Vishal.
Oh, sure. Okay. So yeah, so submarines has been rated as one of the most complex engineering projects. Apart from building road, bridges, and skyscrapers. In multi locations. And I don't know if you've realized, but data center is next in line. When it comes to complexity and the nature of the business. So we should all be proud, and we should be happy that we are part of this industry now. And going forward, I think there's a lot of scope for all of us, for our individual respective role plays in this industry. And I'm increasingly seeing during my stint here is that whether it's an SI or an OEM or an EPC or end user, I've seen that everybody is inclined to work cohesively in this format of our business, because of the criticality and the nature of our business. So great. We have some. I'm sure we'll have some great takeaways from today's session. And my first topic of discussion today is basically which I wish Taher could take over. Is that Taher, basically we all understand the need and importance for the design and the construction certification. However, somewhere my understanding is that I've been seeing very seldom is that the operation sustainability and the management programs, they've been in the backdrop, and it's not been given the kind of importance that it should have been given, or the kind of respect that it commands, personally speaking, So I wish to understand from you as a customer, as a client, when you look off, when you consider of developing a facility for yourself, or you're looking to set yourself shops for at a co-location, or a cloud, or a DR. So what is your experience? What is it that you look to select for the right operator? What are your selection criteria? With respect to the criticality of the operation sustainability program.
Thank you so much. I think you are asking, you are getting some information from myself that you have asked for. Let me answer one by one. First of all, actually, transformation, digital transformation, actually is a knowledge-based. It's a knowledge-based. First, I prefer the human resources. As per Gartner group, they are saying also the lacking of the human resources, knowledge, training, and the documentation and segmentation. These are the very important. And today is actually IT personnel should also be dedicated and ethical. Then the reliability and sustainability and availability, these words are actually using interoperability. These words are actually interchangeably these words, but there are distinct in some cases in terms of performance. I actually, whenever I take a decision to deploy, to design services or to modify, to scale up any services or any hardware or any security devices, first of all, I design how to train the people. After getting the training, or at the same time, when I start to process a procurement or to design or to extend my data center to ensure the reliability, availability, and also to increase the uptime, first of all, I prepare the human resources. And at the time of procurement, I just manage my management, and as well as I select the solution provider, those who have the right people in the back of the product. Because I can procure a product from X company with 1 crore or 2 crore, but same product with the same configuration and specification that my organization or my infrastructure need or suite to ensure the smooth services based on my financial transaction. I prefer the institution or solution provider who has the right people to configure the devices. And if it takes 10 crore, 20 crore, even if it takes 1 crore or 1.5 crore difference in terms of the prices, but people, organization, their sustainability and their human resources are very skilled, trained and certified, and they are always dedicated to provide the service round the clock, because I am providing the services round the clock. Because these days core banking services actually are reducing, alternate delivery channel services actually are becoming the mainstream services over the globe. Because we need the financial services around the clock with a minimum cost, anytime, anywhere, anyhow. So first of all, I prefer the human resource and I just conduct and commit in that way, just from my management, as well as from, because this is not the capacitor or resistor, you just solder it and you just again install another same values of capacitor or resistor in your motherboard or circuit board and it will work functioning. But these are the very sophisticated device. You have to know the anatomy of every individual who have getting the certificate or who are certified. So a certified people has the knowledge to configure a product or security devices more efficiently, ensuring the best services and more security. And that's the important. Security nowadays is another important issue to ensure the reliability and availability, to ensure the services around the clock, maximum the downtime 99.9999. Because if DDoS, malware, I cannot protect those, I cannot ensure the availability and reliability of the services. But in some cases, distinctly, I can define reliability, and actually reliability factoring the availability. Because if I say that if a data center component in a year, infrastructure or the mission critical services or data center downtime 5 minutes in 1 year, but another data center goes for downtime for say 10 times, each time 30 seconds. These all the same over the year, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. But in case of 10 times downtime, I have to consider how much time it will take to recover all the services, to restore all the services. If restore all the services takes more time, then availability and data center uptime actually does not matter. So I have to ensure all the product and services under a compliance, power, then mainline utility, then our generator, then UPS. All the components should have the tolerance, having a redundant and fault tolerance, so that if one can goes down, another will start automatically. Say you've seen yes, all the areas of Islami Bank Limited. Actually, we have the redundant component. We have just segmented our data center like zone wise, perimeter wise, internet zone, extranet zone, then our own enterprise zone, and card data network. Actually, for ensuring card data environment, we have separated the card network in another ways, and we are integrating those using the VLAN or some other means, so or using the virtual private network, so that in all levels we have the SOC. So around the clock, actually, we are monitoring all the services, and we have used the sophisticated and as compliance with the central bank and as compliance as the global standard institution. So Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited, for the last 10 years, I can ensure that our services has not been interrupted for a second. And actually, we are providing the uninterrupted services, and our people actually they are working dedicatedly, and actually reliability, availability, and sustainability depends on money. It depends on how qualityful product you have procured, the solution provider, skill solution provider, certified solution provider, and finally you have to ensure the skill, education, training, and dedication of your employees. But to ensure to create the dedicated people, actually as a leader, what I am doing, first of all, I go for every individual task, and I try to scan every individual. Actually, how they are, because we are driven by emotion.
You're trying to highlight on the people skills.
People, yes. I have to skin when I call for employee to just give him a responsibility or just to work something. First of all, I scan his face, how he is. If he is good, I ask some question. How are you? How your family is? Your mother, your father? Can I assign you a job? He is smiling, say that you can assign me a job. This is the first
We
time
understand
I
that this emotional connect will somewhere help you
I
to
actually I
maintain
have
your business
understood that.
continuity.
Yes. So reliability and sustainability and availability actually depends on how accurate I am, how accurately I am preparing my subordinate officer, and how value I create to my subordinate officer. How value, how much even a cleaner, I have the value to him, because if he is not providing the duty in the night, humidity, then water leakage from my any device. Actually, he is not cleaning those. The data center may have any electrified. So I have create value for every individual, and I love every individual of my family, because they all are the part of my system to make it ready, to make it okay. This is my just delivery to you, and this is the way I want it.
Congratulations, actually, Taher, on the kind of uptime and the reliability that you're maintaining at your center, at your facility. So the idea was also to understand, for the benefit of everybody present today in the session, was to understand the importance of the design and the construction of the facility, apart from also managing the operation sustainability program of the project of the facility. So yeah, fair enough. Points well noted from you. Gaurav, so we have you online. So,
Yeah.
Gaurav, what kind of technology advancements is Rital currently engaged, and what kind of technologies are you all investing in right now? Would you like to highlight on some of these technologies?
Yeah, thanks, Vishal. That's a good question. So right now, from Rital point of view, I just want to bring your notice here that there are a lot of investment is going on. Basically, as you know, that Rital is a German based manufacturing company, and we have a headquarters in Germany. So there is a lot of investment is going on. It's not only in Germany as well as in India. When we are talking about the globe, obviously there is a investment is going on. In particular, if I want to speak, coming from the data center point of view, there is the two important parameters when we talk about data center comes is the cooling and the power. These are, you can say, the drivers of the data center business. Okay, so obviously there is a lot of investments going on in cooling technology, where we see what is the suitable type of cooling unit is required in European countries or for the APAC region. So starting from 10 kilowatt per rack to it can go up to the say 55 kilowatt per rack. That kind of cooling technology we have, and we are looking forward in the same area, and maybe in the future, if everything goes well, we will be talking in the higher capacities per rack capacity. So at present, we are supporting, as India Competency Center, we are supporting the India for designing the solution. Even sometimes we guide our customers with what is the tier level. And actually, I just forget to mention in my introduction part that I have done my ATD certification from Uptime only. So
That's right.
Yeah, so it was a very, you can say, the professional training was provided, which includes the important part of the cooling and the power. So where we get into the customer, into the discussion, and we sometimes explain and sometimes we understand from customer in detail what is their requirement from the technology point of view. And obviously, coming from that point of view, Rital is doing a lot of investment in in terms of powers and cooling.
So great, thanks, Gaurav. So one more question to you, basically. So how does the cooling for the benefit of everybody on the board today, how does the cooling technology differentiate with respect to regions? So the technology trends for coolings in Europe vis-a-vis regions in APAC or Southeast Asia, how would it differ there?
Yeah, I would like to answer this question because basically I comes from the HVAC background only, and I'm into the same this data center designing field from more than 10 years. See, when we are talking about the European countries, you know, the climate condition over there is it's pleasant. You say sometimes in the winter it's good below 0 degrees Celsius also. So there actually, when we talk about the cooling unit with the dual coil, where the free cooling comes into the picture, where you are not using the actual refrigerant in the line. At the time when there is a free cooling available, you are utilizing that free cooling from the nature. When you're coming to the other part of the world, which is India, or you say, for example, Malaysia, these part of the world where we do use cooling units, but we are using different kind of refrigerant, say for example the chilled water or the gas based solution. So we have a different kind of products available depending on the regions, or you can say the customer requirement, and we can provide the solution to the customer.
Great. I think it's quite enlightening to hear this from you. So great. Thanks so much. Herman, can we have you online, please?
Hi, Vishal.
Hi. So Herman, you come from a very diversified background, and you're heading the business for Sunbird as of now. So what are your thoughts on data center operations, especially during this pandemic situation, which has been troublesome for everybody?
Well, during the situation that we're in right now, when it first started, this concept of work from home became a new phenomenon for both employees as well as data center operators, colos, and mission critical facilities. And we didn't know what we were dealing with, and there were quite a few lockdowns across the world. And even in some countries, they all of a sudden thought, wow, data centers is now an essential business. And I have to figure out how to make sure that my people are allowed into the building once in a while to make sure operations keep running. And so in the early days, we tried to focus on our customers and help them ensure that their tools are appropriately configured so that they can remotely monitor the sites or their multiple sites down to the individual rack level. What's the inlet temperature of the top, middle, and bottom of the rack? What's the power draw of the inlets into the rack, of the circuit breakers inside the rack? Am I at risk of downtime because of the additional services and the taxing of the compute from this phenomenon, right, of work from home, or from the additional services of everyone trying to get online? And so our job was trying to figure out how to help our customers ensure that they've got the right threshold set, right, and that they've got the right alert set, because we're talking about maintaining uptime, like what you guys are trying to preach and teach, right? What are the operational procedures that are in place to make sure that you can survive and maintain uptime during this taxing period? And as we talk to some of our customers, they're also utilizing the tools for other purposes. So for example, we have a webinar on our website from Argonne National Laboratories, and Fred is the data center manager. And he says, hey, I'm not allowed at my site right now, but I still have to plan for moves, adds, and changes and upcoming work to be done in the data center. And so because I have this tool, I can continue to do my planning, my work orders, my connection requests, so that when somebody is in the building or is allowed back into the building, they have a nice set of very thorough work orders so that they can get their job done very efficiently. And so, these are some of the things that we're starting to see more utilization of these kinds of tools in the environment that we're in.
So are you saying, Herman, that there is a delivery model wherein Sunbird can manage services remotely without having any staff on site?
Yeah, what we do is we partner with hardware vendors, because part of our solution requires that you've got the right instrumentation, like branch circuit metering, right? Or intelligent rack PDUs, or temperature and humidity, pressure and airflow sensors, right? All of these types of instrumentation that collects data is really important for you now, right? And with the proliferation of not only data centers and colos, but edge now becoming a new phenomenon, you're not going to have people at edge sites. So you have to figure out a strategy for remote monitoring and remote management and remote operations.
This is actually a very interesting debate. I think because of lack of time, I think I would have initiated this discussion, but probably we'll keep it for next time. So thanks, Herman, for all your inputs and the information shared with us. Can I have Mr. Jamil online, please?
Yep.
Mr. Jamil. So, Mr. Jamil, Uptime, at Uptime, we do our annual data center industry surveys, and based on this year's, which is 2020 year survey, we've sort of noticed and we've observed that the most common reason for outages in data center is human error that we've been. So this is a subject matter. This is a topic that we have been speaking about time and again, and we are always in the brim in how to reduce the dependency on the same. So I want to understand from you, Mr. Jamil, which is that if you had any specific incidents that you may have experienced, in the past or currently, if you're facing any operational issues, is there any kind of risk that you have surpassed or you examined, and how did you mitigate them? So for the benefit of the crowd out here, present today, so if you could just highlight what kind of best practices do you adopt to make sure that your facility is absolutely risk-free and it's safe and it's secured. So yeah, over to you, Mr. Neil.
Yeah. Actually, any change in data center brings in some kind of risk. So one of the reason for which a sustainable operational level cannot be maintained whenever we do some change. So already a veteran IT professional among us, Taher Bhai has already discussed that human resource is the most important parameter for a data center. So we also give the most focus on building the bank's own team who look after the data center infrastructure. So they are properly trained and have every skill that is required to run the data center with minimum risk and highest efficiency. And also, because all the team members are not bank's people, we have, as a bank, we engage many vendors to look after our data center components.
Sure.
And in that case, we prefer the best technology experts to come in and serve us for this data center uptime and for the minimum risk. So these are the two components we ensure to minimize the risk of data center. And whenever we do any work, we follow a detailed procedure and maintain our policy and change management, which is looked after overall, because same kind of work, if we do in a different way, may hamper the overall operational efficiency, and there may be a different kind of risk. So we go through the procedure again and again, and from every point we can cover, and then we operate there. And after operation, we also try to understand what are the parameters which have been changed, like what have happened in the cooling portfolio of the data center. If there are any new hotspots created, or anywhere there is not a good amount of airflow. So we check those very minutely actually. And after that, these are the few things we.
So you can do a lot of micromanagement, what I understand.
Yeah.
So
So
have you had any kind of risk that you have probably beforehand kind of foresightedly understood and you mitigated the risk in the past?
uh, actually, sometimes it happens that only for a filler, in the rack filler, we have faced some leakage in airflow, and later on we found that some server is getting more heat, and we have to put in the filler immediately. So this kind of nitty-gritty we have to look for every data center change. So
I
these
can
are
see
some of the
Gaurav
things.
listening very hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Great, great. Thank you, Mr. Jamil. Thank you.
Okay.
And we have now, it's quite interesting actually to know all this. So can we have Mr. Shamsur Rahman Chowdhury online, please? So Mr. Chowdhury, what you've understood is that you've been an active designer on the electrical side. So designing is actually one of the core pillars for setting up the foundation for data centers. So it also sets up the business objective for the client, to also, so once the designs are finalized and approved, you also go ahead and construct the facility basis the designs that we have and make sure that there are no gaps, while the development and the construction of the facility is going on. So this reliability also depends a lot, not just on design and construction, but also depends on the operation processes and the procedures that you lay out, before the facility goes live and operational. So the question to you here is that what is it that you look from an operator? So your key findings that when you look to outsource an operator, what is it that you look from an operator? To what kind of controls that you look to monitor? So that you're pretty convinced that my facility are in good and safe hands and can be managed very well.
Actually, I like to begin my deliberation by drawing an attention to the human side of the manageability. Actually,
Sure.
I like to say about the grievance control and the conflict management. That means the people which I'm employing for running the data center smoothly, they should be in good mode. So if their mind is free from any kinds of anxiety, or if they are really in enjoyable mode, then definitely chance of mistakes might be less. So team building activities should be there by the management so that the people are in good mode. This is one side. And the
Okay.
another one, the digital electronics has been developing day by day, and by this technology, what we can see, we can design or implement a nice monitoring system. Monitoring system means there are various systems is there. Say electrical system is there. Okay, so IT system is there. So inside the IT, say how traffics are coming and going everywhere, whether is there any bad traffic or not. If I pick up the information from various devices or solutions and display it in a dashboard, then definitely the people who will be managing these things, they will very easily understand where some wrong things is going to happen. So if I have adequate manpower is there, then definitely I can take action so that the bad things cannot happen, and it will increase the reliability of my data center. So I like to emphasize on this the digital dashboard that will display every information that I require to smoothly run the data center. And that's all from my side.
Great. So so the idea was that to also understand, apart from the feedback that you also had right now, which you just shared with us, was also to understand that because you're a designer, you play an active role in the electrical side. Design is extremely important to understand the business objective of the client or for yourself as a client. But how important or what kind of importance do you give to the operation management control? I understand that your focus has been on people management and making sure that the staff is well settled, and they're mentally equipped to take up all the challenges for the operations of management of data centers. But what is it that you look? My question was to you was that what is it that you look when you outsource your facility to a third party, or even if it's
Actually,
for that reason your in-house team. So what is it that you look for? What skills are you looking out for? What is the qualification that you're looking out for? How do you ascertain that this is the right staff for this right job?
okay,
That's my question.
definitely, there are many kinds of certifications of various sectors. So certifications might be there, the training might be there. Of course, these are the things are there. So I should employ or select those persons, although these are very not very available in our country, but still we are growing day by day. Our people, they are learning by their own experience. You see, the experience of today is far better than the experience we had, say, 5 years or 10 years ago. So we are selecting the right kind of people from the people that we have at this moment in our country.
So what I understand is that the learning can happen in two ways. One is theoretical learning, which is paper-based or book-based, and the other is practical work experience. So what I understand is because there is a dearth of qualified staff, there's a need for educational training programs for these kind of staff, to make sure that their skills complement the nature of job that they are into. Am I right?
Yes, you are absolutely right. But what I like to say here that you see our the experience in the data center already we have passed more than 10 years. So during the 10 years, a lot of things we have learned. So because this
Sure.
experience that we have from our practical experience, and now the new boys are coming. They are coming with the academic background from the universities, and they are joining, and they are also receiving training, and they are visiting foreign countries, and they are taking part training from various vendors. So I believe we are improving.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. I like it. So great. Thank you, Mr. Chowdhury, for highlighting these points. So can I have Mr. Nazmul online, please?
Yeah,
So
Vishal, I'm here.
hi. So back in India, Mr. Nazmul, we have a lot of government authorities and government bodies who are now responsible for audit of certified service providers, who are empaneled with the government right now to offer their cloud and co-location services to the government. So these bodies they run rigorous audit programs and qualify. In order to qualify for empanelment, they have to get their facilities audited. So is there a need for a similar body in Bangladesh? Because uh, my initial conversation with you, what I've understood is that you've grown from a very scratch level, so your roots must be very grossly rooted. So is there a need for a governing body, who can maybe replace, who can work out a sort of a platform where these audits can happen and make sure these facilities are designed and developed on a certain standard? Is there a need for something like this?
Absolutely, Vishal. Primarily, the data center are built on the enterprises' own initiative, primarily in Bangladesh. But in last couple of years, we are actually seeing that there is co-location facilities also come. So fact is that managing the data center is a very important thing. Whenever we build a data center, there is definitely a huge budget on the management side, that you have a huge budget. You can build the data center as per your need. But the operational management is very important. And in that scenario, we have seen that a lot of enterprises actually fail to manage their data center properly, and ultimately the design on the design they have made initially, they are actually deviated day by day for their various business needs. So data centers are actually required to maintain in a standard manner. So that is the data centers need. But the organization who actually managing the data center, their business growth also an important factor. So
is there a body right now? Is there any discussion going on in Bangladesh with the government that there's a need for a audit agency, where a centralized audit agency where
yes, I'm actually coming onto the point. So so later on there is some co-location facilities actually evolved in the country. So now we are seeing that it's a number of co-location facilities now roughly 5 to 6 at this moment, and it's growing day by day. And there is a lot of business entity actually seeing that the data center business is a very opportunistic for them, because the managing and maintaining a data center for an enterprise is very tough. So when I'm saying that, so there will be definitely a rise of co-location facilities. At the same time, I believe that government organization or the regulatory should come to certify those properly. Otherwise, the reason they are actually shifting from own data center to the co-location facilities will not be fruitful. So maybe there is a lot of non-standard companies will come with some initial lucrative offers with a lot of facilities, but later on they are not managing that in the standard manner. So I believe that government itself actually made a tier 4 data center in Kaliaquid, Bangabandhu High Tech Park. So and accordingly there is a lot of private organization also building their data center facilities to make the data center as a business. So I am sure that the sooner it will come a regulator that who will actually certify these data center actually meet the standard as per the international context. At the same time, definitely country has its own context, so those two contexts will be merged into a standard one, and they will actually regulate those data centers. I'm sure that this will come.
So what is the growing trend right now? People opting to develop on-premise data centers, or are they looking to move to cloud or co-locations?
Recent trend is adopting the co-location is right now. I'm saying that it's growing trend.
Okay.
So from the past 4 or 5 years before, it was not that much, but now as a organization like bKash is using a co-location facilities of a well-known company here. So so it's actually growing. We are seeing that the assumed rack we are actually reserved for us. We have seen that these are exhausted very quickly, because a lot of customers are coming to take those racks from that company. So
you have a business forecast in place.
Already a demand. A demand is growing, and I'm heard that there is a lot other big data center projects also coming in Bangladesh.
Great.
It's a great sign. At the same time, the standard should be practices, because otherwise the reason actually enterprises move to the co-located facility, if the operation management is not up to the mark, then definitely enterprises will suffer the way they are actually right now suffering in their on-premises data center. We also have on-premises data center definitely. And we are using the data center infrastructure monitoring system DCM from Sunbird, and we are also on the process of Tier 3 certification from Uptime. Already design documentation certificate we have achieved, but there is some requirement of the implementation part, and after that we will definitely.
That's right. We'll take it up. Right. Thanks so much. Herman, I have a question for you. I've asked this question to Gaurav as well. So you are a technology-driven company, and what kind of technology advancements is Sunbird now engaged into, and what kind of investments are you looking in globally? I'm not just talking about the US right now or Europe, but even in this part of the world. What's your take on India and the Greater India region, which is comprising of Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and Nepal as well?
Yeah, well, thanks for the question, Vishal. So we're 5 years old now, as of September 25th, and over the last 3 years, we continue to grow 40+% a year, and so we're expanding our global footprint, and we have people servicing Asia Pac now out of Singapore, and people in Europe across several countries, as well as a big footprint in the US. And then as far as our investments, there's a lot of talk about people, and that's where we're investing heavily in our people. In some cases, every person in our company has to go through 2 hours of training every week.
Okay,
right?
that's interesting.
So that they can effectively service our customers. But from a technology perspective, our investments are highly driven by customers. So we have twice a year user groups. In this last user group we had, there was about 150 of our customers collaborating with us to drive our roadmap and development efforts, right? And we want to make sure that second generation DCIM is the right DCIM. And so that's why we listen to customers, and some of the things that they're telling us that we're putting into the development and in terms of future technologies. One is, for example, AI, right? So, one of the biggest challenges in the industry is, how do I put equipment in the rack and put enough in it so that I can maximize the investment of the rack and all the backstream infrastructure to support servers, network, and storage in the rack, but I want to put enough of it without introducing risk. And how do I find that right balance of stranded power versus introducing risk? And so we have a technology called auto power budget in our system.
It's called auto power?
Auto power budget. And so if you have outlet meter PDUs in the rack, and you're able to measure the power consumption for a specific make and model and application and trend it over time, right? Then you can apply a rule with machine learning for any future piece of equipment that you deploy in that rack will have an auto power budget assigned to it for that make and model for that application. And you no longer have to guess, oh, is it 80% of nameplate? Is it 60% of nameplate? Is it 70%? And that kind of automation, is the type of technology that we're pushing towards in our software products, all driven by customers.
Interesting. So I'm going to ask you something out of the context right now, since you are the face of the company right now, and I'm sure you're leading the business for the group. So is there enough angel investors or seed investors who are ready to invest in your technologies? How easy or how difficult is it to convince them to come on board with you guys and share the platform with you?
So from an end user community perspective, what I see is a large growth in interest right now, and I think the most important thing when you think about investing in these kinds of platforms is to not research and not buy based on paper, right? Because it's very easy to come up with a list and say, okay, checkbox, 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 checkbox. But the reality is, once you have it, it's really an operations or a process management tool. It's really about, how do you manage change in the data center? How do you manage moves, adds, commissioning, decommissioning? Where do you have capacity? And all of those decisions, right, need to be made to install one server. How many pieces of data do you need to make a decision where to put it? How many ports are on the server, right? What kind of ports? Fiber, RJ45, C13, C14, C19. So you have a lot of choices and decisions that need to be made, right? And so our approach is, we want you to try it, right? We want you to make sure that you evaluate it, that you have a proof of concept, that you compare, that it flows as part of your process and how you want your people to do work inside the data center. So that's my suggestion. And when you do that, then you can have the highest probability of a successful outcome.
I'm sure, absolutely. I mean, but yeah, one takeaway from this is also that you know, how much you want to automate our systems. You know, there will always be human intervention. You know, which will be required to monitor these complexities. So great. Thanks for all the information shared with us. I would request if we can have Mr. Jamil on line with us.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Jamil, operations, as we understand, is unique to every site, you know, and the operation team is and they should be prepared for any sort of planned or unplanned downtime, depending on the objectives that you've set. So, my question to you here is that how do you plan to achieve smooth operations, you know, and how do you plan to achieve and realize the optimum PUE for your facility? How do you achieve that?
See, actually, to achieve the highest level efficiency comes from the design of the data center. So,
but my question is, do you monitor the PUE at the very initial stage?
Yeah, we always monitor that. And from design stage, we have to know that what will be actually, when we build the data center, it was not fully populated and it's growing. So we have to understand what will be the POU at different stage of the data center lifetime. So that, and accordingly, what are the non-IT loads will be at different times, that also have to plan in front. So when our load, when the IT load will come, how much non-IT load will be created? That is always need to be monitored. And we, throughout the life cycle, every time we increase the load, we also check the other non-IT load. What is the effect on that? So thus we always keep the POU under monitoring.
Great, thanks. So can you have Mr. Taher? I hope, Mr. Taher, we haven't bored you enough. Can you on online? So Taher, there's a hi. So we believe in something which is called start with the end in mind. You know, this has been our philosophy, and this has been globally accepted around the world with open arms. So we believe that at Uptime, we believe that we like to bring the operation and management team who work very closely with us, with the design team in the very initial stage, you know, because this sets the course right for the facility. And thinking about operations from the day one, you know, is of paramount importance, especially during these pandemic times. So my question to you here is that what kind of best practices do you adopt when you are conceptualizing a facility for yourself? If you have a current facility and if you're planning for a new facility, whether it's an in-house data center that you're planning to set up, or you're looking to move to some other facility. So from a concept to commissioning sort of a model, and from an operator's perspective, what are the things that you're looking out for specifically?
Thank you so much. Actually, first of all, from the scratch or just to deploy a solution, first of all, I have considered the infrastructure or hardware facility. First of all, I am trying to just again explain to you. Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited using the exadata solution. That's an engineering solution. So this engineering solution, this is the second version of the exadata because we just last year actually we changed our old solution. It's an engineering solution. All the services, all the storage actually are in a cabinet. So this is a very reliable solution. And we actually prepared our, first of all, manpower, then cabling plant, structure cabling plant, the right way. We are selecting the vendor, and we already selected the vendor. In our data center, disaster recovery site, and part here, all the cabling structure is standard. The solution provider also, we choose the right one over the country. And once you told, once you asked Mr. Chowdhury, Shamsur Chowdhury, actually to select the right people in Bangladesh is very easier, because I know there are 60 banks over the country, and which manpower or human resource are working in a ethical manner, are working dedicatedly, are working maximum time they are investing in their own respective desks. Actually, these are very easier to find out, because I have the data for 60 branches, which human resource are skilled one, educated one, and then have the certification. So in all the cases, I have prioritized the best product, best solution, and the services they are providing. I am considering, because in Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited, we have 200 server, and virtually, actually, using the virtualization solution, we have created more than 700 servers. So our exadata is the only for database server, but all others application server, we are using rack, and some others Panelist told about the rack mounted. All the devices, all the servers are rack mounted. We are using the standard power sources, then rack based PDU, then environment equipment. Then these are all our real-time monitoring through a dashboard. Because using the load balancer, actually we are using all the virtualization server, and all the times we are patching, we are troubleshooting in that way. We have the source code review tools, we have the penetration testing tools, and in the periodic order, actually we monitoring those. And actually all these are real-time connected to our SOC center, NOC center, and these all are we are seeing the bandwidth utilized, we are seeing the power utilized, and we are see the people, those who are dedicated. Actually, we collect the people with higher salary, those working in the industry and willingly come to do their job in the Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited. And Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited, actually they invested their own environment to create their own people, their skill, their certification, and also remuneration and packages. These all are in a standard satisfaction level to all the employees. Actually, employees do not think about their back behind, how their family will be maintained. Actually, Islami Bangladesh Limited is the #1 revenue generating bank over the country. Over the globe, it is the #1 Islamic bank, and over the globe, it is the bank of 1,000 bank in the list. So 900 bank its position over the globe is 925 position. So Islamic bank
focus a lot. You focus a lot on your internal customers, yes, as well as your external customers.
Customer Islamic Banks Limited having the 21,000 employees, and customer, I think we covered the more than 2 crore. So our transaction volume, we are monitoring all the bandwidth. We have engaged our resources full time, periodically. They are doing their responsibility. We have the virtual workplace from the home there, time to time, who are not. We also giving the opportunity to people to work from the home because they have some guests, their parents are coming to visit themselves. In that case, actually, we have the option to provide the engage themselves from their home through VPN. So through VPN, they are connecting to our infrastructure, and all the time, actually, what responsibility we assign to them, actually, they are performing the right time as per customer need. Actually, Islami Bank's data center employees, when we are collecting, we survey all the activities he did in his total service life, as well as the family. And we also do the police verification if he has any unethical activities he did in his own life, his student life. So we measure the standard in that way. We measure this that way. Actually,
thank you, Mr. Taher.
Very smooth. Yes, our very smooth, and we are very fine in Bangladesh.
Thank you, Mr. Taher. Gaurav, I have a question for you. So the O&M program, the operation maintenance program, is extremely crucial, to maintain the business continuity. So, what are the key success factors that you consider, which you will never compromise, with regards to the uptime of the facility?
Actually, business continuity, we just ensure the business. We are using the Tier 3 data center.
That question was for Gaurav. My apologies.
Yes.
And that question was for Gaurav. Is Gaurav online?
Yeah, Vishal, I got the question. So actually, I just want to mention here before explaining in detail, the one reason which is as per the Gartner also, that is the human error for this kind of downtime, that we could say, or you can say that is the unskilled the person who is handling the data center operations and maintenance part. So the first and foremost is that the O&M is the skilled person should be handling the operations and maintenance of the data centers. Coming into the detail of this, for data center, the most important and critical success factor for any business in today's digital world is the data. And today we, as other panelists also mentioned about this human error, Mr. Taher has mentioned. So when we are talking about the reliability, when your data center suffers from any incident or your data is not accessible, the result is a disruption of your business operation. So where the data comes into the picture, and the data process is very important. See, at the in the yesterday's one panel discussion was going on, where the panel is discussing about the resiliency. So as per my point of view, the resiliency, sustainability, availability, all are important from data center point of view. Okay, and reliability can be achieved over a period of time. It is not like, see, when we are talking about the reliability for the particular product, when we are talking about, it can be means a system or a component to perform its required function under a stated conditions. So that's what the reliability means, and it cannot be means achieved over a night. It has to be it's required a time when we are compared to in terms of availability. Availability is foremost important when you're talking about in comparing to reliability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Gaurav, for your insights. So, Mr. Shamsur.
Yes, sir.
We've seen that outages is a very common affair across the globe. We've had numerous surveys, and we've seen that outages can be because of various reasons, whether it's network outage because of network, because of mechanical issues, electrical issues, and so on and so forth. So most of the bigger or major outages are because of power. We've seen power as one of the biggest hindrance, right? Most of the operators also who we have ran our surveys through have also agreed that the downtime that they had was also preventable at some point in time if they would have foresighted the issues very well in advance. So the question to you here is that what kind of proactive practices that we can follow on a day-to-day basis to make sure that the facility doesn't go down or is maintaining the kind of resiliency that we're looking out for? What are the kind of the continuous improvement processes that we can bring on the table, for the operations to be absolutely managed and operate in a very well condition?
Well, actually, the uptime depends on so many factors. Say,
Yes.
but I like to intentionally draw your attention to the three factors. Three factors. The number one factor is bad electricity. Electricity is the raw material of the data center. So if a good electricity can go inside the data center, I believe the electrical devices will remain healthy. And the another attack might be from the cyber attack. We can
Yes.
have a discussion throughout the day. I am not going to details into that. And the third one from my side is the attack from the disgruntled people. So again, I like to talk about the people by which I'm managing the system. So from the reliability part, if we use the standard procedure and the maintenance, sorry, I should first mention the preventive maintenance. So planned maintenance.
Absolutely.
that we should do in a proper way. Proper way means the maintenance should be done in such a way that the running system availability is not hampered at all. So whenever I am doing a maintenance on a particular device, I believe that in our planned way, the system will be transferred to another device so that the operation is not hampered. So preventive maintenance is one of the important factor while operating a data center.
Absolutely, I agree with you. So great. I mean, there are a lot of other factors I personally believe, and I think we're short on time, so I'll quickly move on to the next question. So we've noticed that I'm going to throw an open generic question to everybody. I think anybody can pick up and answer. Data centers is what we hear and what we see nowadays is that data center operators are finding it, and they're finding it's quite a struggling affair right now to find new talent. For these open jobs that we have, whether it's a cloud or a co-location facility, or even for that reason our on-premise facilities. There is a need for training and professional training platforms which can fill this gap which we have, and there is a constant demand also that we see every on a month-on-month level, that we're seeing that right training for the right course for the right team is very important. So my question to everyone here is that how would you ensure that the management team, the senior team which is there, of the facility, is geared up to take this challenge, this gap which is there? How do you fill this gap? Because somewhere we've seen that, they're investing heavily into the facility, in maintaining the design, in getting the construction of the facility, in even running the operation management program. But the right candidates and participants are not available today. How do you ensure that you can fill this gap?
So would you please kindly allow me to say about this issue? Actually, I believe the data center operation, if we really look into the complexity, actually the major part goes to the hands of the electrical engineers. And another major part goes to the hands of the, say, computer science or computer engineers. And another is the mechanical part. Mechanical part, say, the cooling system and others. So if there is a combination of these three group of people in the team, and if they get the proper kind of training and proper kind of management and proper kind of schedule, everything if in a black and white manner, that is through the policies and procedures and in the written documents, and doing a critical job, before doing a critical job, they must do it in an environment, in a say testing environment, being sure then they should go to the same thing in the live environment. I think in this way, if we look into the matter, then the complexity will be less.
So another question related to this is that is there a specific training budget that you all come out at the beginning of the year to make sure that your staff is trained enough to manage the facility?
I don't know whether the other people from the bank, what they will say, but I must say that since this is my fourth bank, I had been in Exim Bank, Dasbangla Bank, and Jamuna Bank, and now I am in NCC Bank. Only the exception is Dasbangla Bank, where the budget is not at all a problem, whether the budget related to the money or people or any other resources. But we usually face these challenges when we go to the management for a budget. So this is a challenge for us.
So there is a clear identification in terms of who's the qualified staff and what is the need, what is the gap, and where can we cover this gap. There's a clear demarcation, what I understand.
Yes, actually.
Can I add something?
Okay. Taher, carry on, please.
Actually, I am saying about Islami Bank Bangladesh. Before that, I was in First Security Islami Bank Bangladesh, Islami Bank, First Security Islami Bank Limited, and before that, I was in IFIC Bank Limited. This is the third bank, Islami Bangladesh Limited, for banking job. Really, actually, we have the certified people in all the areas. First thing, I have the certified people in all the areas. This is the first thing for data center smooth operation. And these certified people since all the banking services, say core banking, say RTGS, say mobile financial services, say digital wallet, say iBanking, all the say batch, all services actually are designed and developed by our own people. Actually, Islami Bangladesh Limited, ICT division or ICT wing is a IT firm. So I have scheduled all the people for a training session, and all the people I am engaging to get the certification. This is my first ideology and first plan. So in a periodic order, all the people working in every area, he has to produce the next people, or he has to produce the next follower, so that he can become the next leader. This is my first plan. So every week I am conducting some session in specific areas, say UPS area, say virtualization, say software, say RDA. So all the people in every individual team, they are becoming well equipped to provide the services, because I myself, my people have to provide the service, because I am not outsourcing the services. Then budget. Actually, Islami Bank Bangladesh Limited, the owner of the Islami Bangladesh Limited, has 6 banks over the country. So these 6 banks actually the follower of Islami Bank. So I am trying to accommodate a common data center to maximum utilization of our resources, power, and also connectivity and manpower also. So the planning already completed, and we are working out, just trying to just find out a guideline, and it will be approved by the 6 other banks, and then we start to deploy a common data center as like as the in the local cloud environment. So then the budget and gap, because my management actually are so happy, because we do not have to pay any maintenance services for any kind of software, because all our software designed by ourselves. We just find out and calculate a yearly income that we have saved for the people using the services we are providing, using the software we are designed. Then these budget and amount, I myself calculate the amount and say the management yearly we are saving 100 crore money for service level agreement. These money actually management
that's a record.
Thus invest for my many people to train up for their certification, for their increment, for their recreation, and actually Islami Bangladesh Limited are 100% dependent and rely on the technical people working in the data center. And finally, it's very important. It's very important. actually I engage the employees from different religion, because in Ramadan I cannot say a people who is fasting, you do the just night duty, so he cannot do it. If I engage a person who is fasting, he cannot do properly, dedicatedly in the data center. So I am trying to engage the people from
So you
all
have a
religions.
holistic approach, what you understand.
Yes,
You have a holistic
this
approach
is my
towards
ideology. And another question, in
people
banking
solution.
sector, the banking diploma is mandatory to get the promotion. But I have getting approval from the board, those who are technically certified, say CISO certified, CISA certified, then SOC certified, these certified over the global standard vendor certification will be treated as banking diploma. So in their promotion, they are not getting any interruption or obstruction to
Great.
fly higher and higher position.
Great. Nazmul, can we have you online, please? Nazmul, hi.
Hello.
Hi. So Nazmul, we're coming close to our session, so in India specifically, I'm just trying to highlight, just for the benefit of everybody present today. India, we are witnessing a transition, that from we transition from an emerging economy to a more developed market, a more developed economy, and it's more digital now, and it's supposed to play a very pivotal role right now in this journey. So there is I don't know whether you guys are aware, but we've come out, the Indian government, they've come out with a draft data center policy, and the formal policy also will come in the due course of time. So is there a similar plan of action with the state and central government coming in together and producing something very similar, so a policy or a guideline, where data center developers or end users or customers, are benefited by way of fiscal benefits or non-fiscal benefits also for that reason, in terms of getting funding from the state governments, or in terms of helping them in setting up the facility by way of land or approvals. So is there a sort of ease of doing business model that is in discussion at the state and the central level?
Actually, government is building some high-tech parks in different region of Bangladesh. So
Okay.
I'm not sure that there is very specific for the data center only, but it's as a whole.
Could be for the IT industry as well.
IT industry. So if I refer the Kaliakwar High-Tech Park, so government itself built a data center, and some other private organization also building their facilities over there. So I'm sure that there is no such written or guideline sort of thing, but government is making some facilities so that everyone can get the benefit from that. So there is a
because what's happening is that railways and powers and roadways, they've been granted infrastructure status, across developed countries, especially in the US, or whether it's Europe or even India for that matter, but data center as a sector has not been given that kind of importance till now. So I personally feel that if you're given infrastructure status, this will sort of boost investments for us, not just in India but also in Bangladesh. So this I'm talking not from I'm talking from more of co-location perspective. People who are looking to set up large data center parks or campuses in the Bangladesh as a region. So I personally feel that this will boost the ecosystem for Bangladesh as a region altogether. I personally believe that. So there is a favorable ecosystem. Then I'm sure everybody will benefit from there, whether it's an end user or enterprise or a co-location. I personally feel
absolutely. Because
Right.
data center, building the data center is actually is a different game in the IT industry, I believe. The way actually Singapore and Malaysia build a industrial park in their country, and all the data center actually built over those facilitated area where long distance connectivity and transportation facilities electricity, land, all are available there. So
yeah, I mean, availability of
facilities are-
uninterrupted clean power and renewable power energies, because this will obviously go a long way in reducing the overall cost for operations, I personally believe, right? So, facilitating your own power generation units, locally in Bangladesh, I think, and also because the data consumption is growing every day, I think the need for high resilient optic fibers also is equally important, multiple fiber optics. So I personally feel that as stalwarts from the industry in the region back in Bangladesh, as a team, I think if you all can approach the ministries, the concerned ministries, and make these kind of organized demands, I think if you start right now, I think in the next few coming years, we'll see Bangladesh as a very important region. Now, it is obviously a very a big region for everybody involved today, but I think it will also lay path for the right course, I think, for everybody involved. I personally believe.
Sure.
So my last question to Herman here. Herman, are you there?
Hi, Vishal.
Hi. So Herman, for the benefit of everybody, I think we hear a lot of edge and hybrid facilities. We see them coming in the near future. So how should one go about building a reliable operations for these growing trends on the edge and the hybrid front? What's your take on that?
So yeah, that's a good question. We're seeing more and more edge customers come on board, and for example, one customer has 20 million hard drives at the edge, and they're trying to figure out how to life cycle manage the break fix on that, right? And so, when you think about edge, you have to think about the fact that there's going to be no humans there for the most part. And so you have to think about an infrastructure that's smart to begin with, right? And so where in that edge site are you going to have the computer to be the gateway to manage the infrastructure, right? And that computer could be embedded in various formats. In my previous life, I worked at Raritan, and we embedded the computer inside the rack PDU, because we believed in a world where the rack is where you house critical equipment. And so everything surrounding the rack, you need to know what's going on, right? So it could be an environment data or power data. It could even be sensors for fire or even sensors for water. So, but all of that is just to protect the equipment. And it's gotten to the point where that computer even allows you to connect and control door locks and have audits and control over who gets to enter that rack at that remote site, right? And so the first part is for sure to make sure that you think through what intelligent infrastructure am I going to have out there, because I have no people out there. And then the second part is, okay, now that I have this intelligent infrastructure, what is my management layer? So that I can get the data, right? Understand what's going on, get automated thresholds and alerts, and also help my people act upon the data. There's some element of workflow and control, right? And that goes back to what you guys are doing in the industry, which is training, right? We need people trained to remotely operate from the edge. And we need to figure out what is our remote hands and smart hand strategy, right? We're seeing more and more of that even in colos, where customers are using the tool and issuing remote hands and smart hands inside the colo work orders because they can't get there. So that's going to transition to the edge, because you're going to have so many more sites to deal with, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Shah, it's been a great 90-minute session for all of us. I mean, the immense takeaways for everybody involved here. What we've realized and understood is that operation and management programs, they run a very pivotal role in this entire life cycle of the data center project, And the idea is to, maintain the resiliency even in this age of cloud And there may be a lot of operational deficiencies, whether it's related to staffing or it's related to their qualifications or the organization. There's a lot of dearth for the training, what we understood. Shamsur also pointed out about preventive maintenance programs. There are housekeeping issues we all understand. There is maintenance management system. There's vendor supports systems. There's planning, coordination, and monitoring, which is hugely important to run and make sure that the facility is reliable and managed in a certain set pattern and method. We have to monitor our load management. We have to monitor our operating set points. We have to always keep a track of our capacity plannings. So there's a lot which goes inside maintaining this resiliency that we always talk about in data centers. So this, I think, I'd like to end the session here. There is more that we could have spoken. There is still, there are still so many things that are unspoken right now. There's so much that we could have covered, I think, but because of lack of time right now, we haven't really spoken on the network side, on the security side, on the automations as well. I think given an opportunity next time, we'll speak about that as well. And with that, I think I'll probably end this in my note. And I'd like to give my heartfelt thanks to Masood and his entire diligent team, who's been playing a very important role in running this entire show from morning till late evenings. And I'll thank all the panelists for all the inputs and the participation today. It's been a great, at least for me, it's been a great takeaway, because very seldom you get to meet at these events where, personalities from different backgrounds, OEMs and end customers and certification agencies like us, that they come together to bring the best practices on the table. So my gratitude to everybody, all the panelists on the engaging thoughts and experiences. And Masood, thank you so much. And thanks for putting this brilliant session together for all of us in this virtual summit that we have organized. And I wish you all the very best, and hope that you can physically carry out this tradition next year.
Yes, thank you, Vishal, and thank you, the full team. Yes, this year is the 5th year actually, and this is the first year we are doing in virtually. Last 4 years we have done physically, but the pandemic situation we could not do. But yes, if the situation is okay, next year we shall do. So before conclude the session, I want to give special thanks to everyone for joining. It is actually a day-long session, and it is start from yesterday till today, and tomorrow is our last day. So just I will take only 1 minute to highlight about our tomorrow session. So tomorrow our session will start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and keynote speech will be given by Sanjay Matarani. Then our next session will be at 11. It will be for passive fire protection. Then collaborative product for distance learning. Then SendQuick notification management platform for data center. Then we will have another presentation on discover how professional AV technology can transform your business. Then reliable power distribution in the data center. Then we will have another panel discussion on data center monitoring, and Mr. N.K. Singh will conduct this session or moderate this session. Yes, thank you all for joining our session, and hopefully see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Good